I'm Eric Folks, and today we are going to talk about Gmail going beyond the basics. We're going to learn how to do all kinds of different things, starting off with dragging and dropping images into our new emails. So first thing we're going to do is go to the preferred browser for Gmail, which is Google Chrome, and we're going to go ahead and sign in. Once we've signed in, we can compose a new email by clicking on Compose. And you can see with the new look to Gmail, it's going to pull up my new email in the bottom right hand corner. But if I want to, I can click pop out and make that full screen. There are a couple of different ways I can insert those images. The traditional way is to add a file attachment, and you can see the little paperclip down here, and when I put my mouse over it, it gives me all sorts of different options, including insert photos. So if I want to choose a file and browse to the file in the traditional way, I can do that right there. But I can also drag and drop images in. So I'm going to just restore down my browser. Minimize some of these other things, and then all I have to do is drag in my image by left clicking and dragging, and then let go. And you can see that my image has been pulled in. So I can also, by clicking on the image, adjust the size of it, make it small, medium, large, or the original. So that is dragging and dropping images. Next on our list is selecting themes. You have a variety of different themes available to you within Gmail from the drop down in settings. If you go to themes, you can see there are a whole bunch. So we can click any of these traditional color themes, but there are also some high def themes as well. I'm going to go with the ocean here. And you can see immediately it shows me what it's going to look like. Some of the themes will require you to put in your zip code because it will actually change with the time of day, which it gets from your zip code. So I'm going to click back on the inbox to get out of the settings, and you can see I have changed my theme. Okay, so next we're going to adjust the display density. This is not too difficult to do. From the drop down, you can see one of our first options is display density. Comfortable, cozy, and compact. Now, display density is how tightly packed your emails, your font, and all that is within Gmail. So you can see we're at comfortable, and if you look at the text to the left, when I click on cozy, things get a little bit tighter. If I click on compact, they get even tighter. Now, the advantage to a compact view obviously is that you're going to be able to see more emails in less space and you'll have to do less scrolling. The advantage to the comfortable view is that it's just much easier on the eyes. Okay. Next thing is we're going to distinguish between labels and folders. One of the neat things about Gmail is you have the ability to essentially tag multiple emails so that they can be in different areas, and you can search by those tags or what Gmail calls labels, but you can also move them to actual folders. So you don't see many of the options until you actually select one of the emails. So I'm going to select this email, and you can see everything opened up here, and from the drop down here I'm given a couple of different options. This is the folder icon, so I can actually move something to a folder. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to create a new folder. You can see the two defaults are spam and trash, but I'm going to create a new. We're going to just call this the Google folder. And I have the ability to nest it under other folders as well if I've created those, but since I haven't, I'm going to just create a main folder. Once I've created that folder, you can see that we've got a Google folder over here on the left hand side, and if I click on that folder, there's one email in the Google folder. Now if I click back on my inbox, I'll show you that we can also apply labels to emails, which isn't going to move them, it's just going to tag them so that you can search them. So I'm going to select a couple of different emails here, and instead of this I'm going to go with the labels icon. So from the drop down, I'm going to label this as Gmail, and I click enter after I type it in. Actually, I'm going to click on Gmail, create new, enter a new label name, so I click create, and now you can see the Gmail tag has been added to both of those. But notice the difference here. We have got a Google folder where it's actually moved things into the Google folder. A label has just been attached to these emails, but it's still in my inbox. So labels don't move the email necessarily. They just add labels to them so that you can search by those. When I bring my mouse down, I can see the Gmail label and I can see the Google folder. So if I click on the Gmail label, it's going to give me the appearance of a folder in that everything tagged with Gmail is going to show up in there, but it hasn't actually moved them. They're still in my inbox. Versus the Google folder, if I actually click on it, this Getting Started in Google Plus has been moved to the Google folder and it's no longer in my inbox. Okay, so you can apply multiple labels to the same email, but really you can only move the email to one folder. If you try to put it in multiple folders, really what you're doing is applying a label to it. So next on our list. Utilize advanced search to find and filter email. Right along with labels and folders come some of the neat advanced search features in Gmail. You have the ability to click up at the top and search by a variety of different means. So I could just type in a keyword. I could say Gmail, and it's going to pull in anything that it can find with Gmail in it. But let's say that we want to utilize some of the advanced search options. So I want anything from to with the subject has the words. So I have a lot of different abilities to search. So let's say we're going to search for anything that has the word Gmail in it. So I click search, and notice I can even specify a date range if I want, or whether or not it has an attachment. And if you're really fancy, you can actually create filters with those criteria built into it. So maybe everything that comes from a certain person bypasses your inbox and goes straight to a particular folder that you've created. So I'm going to just click search for now and see everything that has Gmail in it. And you can see we've got the tag Gmail, these two emails that we tagged with Gmail, the label Gmail earlier, but we also have other emails that have Gmail mentioned within them somewhere. So these other two will show up as well. Okay, and it even searches my draft. So lots of advanced search options. When you click the little drop down arrow, you can even specify which boxes you want it to search. So there's the Gmail label I created, the Google folder that I created, and all the defaults as well. So lots of different options for searching and finding what you need. Okay, under general settings, we want to be able to do a couple key things. We're going to look at conversation view, selecting a profile pic, and adding a signature. So we toggle back over to Gmail, and I'm going to just click on inbox to get out of that search. And from the top right hand corner, I click the drop down for settings, click on settings, and you can see under this general tab, which is what it defaults to, we've got lots of different options first, but we're going to just focus on three. Conversation view, turning it on and off. Conversation view essentially is going to group together all the different emails, regardless of sender, that have the same subject line, so that it is more compact view. And we covered that a little bit in the basic training. But if you're not used to conversation view and you find it difficult to find emails, you can always turn off the conversation view right here. Okay, let's look at a couple of other things. We can also select a profile picture. Okay, so if under my picture, I can select a picture that everybody's going to see when I email them. So I click on that and I choose the file, and I will just browse to wherever I've got that file. And it gives me the ability to kind of put it wherever I want, based on the size of the picture, of course. So the smaller the picture, the less cropping you're going to have to do. But you do have the ability to adjust that a little bit by dragging. And I click Apply Changes, and there's what everybody else will see when I actually email them. So I want to adjust my settings so that it's visible to everyone and not just the people I can chat with. So the other thing we wanted to look at is how do you add an email signature. If you scroll down a little bit further, you can see right here we can click on signature and we can put in our contact information. And then we're going to scroll all the way down. Most of what you do in Gmail is going to autosave, Google Apps in general for that matter. But when you're working in the settings, a lot of the times you'll actually have to save the changes manually. It doesn't want to autosave anything just because it's so important, those adjustments that you make. So let's put this to the test. I'm going to go ahead and compose an email. And I'm going to send it to myself, and you can see my name comes up right away. And my email signature shows up in the body of the text. And I've sent it. It shows the inbox has got 4 now instead of 3, but I'm going to click on it just to refresh it. I could also have refreshed up here. And so there that shows up, and it shows the picture, shows my picture, and if I click on the email, I did want to show you that it did put in my signature, and I did that by clicking right here to expand the content. Okay, so next thing we want to do is look at the labs. Google has a section under the settings. If I click on the drop down, click on settings, and I click on labs, it gives you a little indication right up at the top that Gmail Labs is experimental. Not all this stuff is going to work perfectly, and some of it may disappear or break at any time, but you can always restore to your standard setup right here if you want to get rid of any of the labs. But there are a couple really neat labs that I want to show you. First is the preview panel. You have the ability to search for these things. So I'm going to just search for preview. And it's going to auto search those things. And here's my preview panel. And you can see it's turned off right now. It's disabled. So I'm going to click enable. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and save changes. What's nice about the preview panel is it gives you the ability to split the look of Gmail. So now I have this new section right here, and it's on no split. But let's say I want a vertical split. If I click on that, you can see that anytime I select an email, it shows up on the right-hand side. But I still see all my emails on the left-hand side. So this is what Outlook typically defaults to in terms of the look. So you have this vertical split option. And you also have a horizontal split, which I'm not a big, huge fan of. But let's say I click on the email. Underneath, it's going to show all those different emails. And I can scroll between my emails up at the top, and it previews them below. So I'm going to go back to vertical split. Okay, so the other one I wanted to show you was the undo send. Sometimes we click send before we should click send. And in Google, in Gmail Labs settings, back to Labs, you have the ability to undo something that you sent. So if I enable this and save changes, you'll see that when I send an email, and I click send, watch up at the top middle section right here. I click send, and it gives me the ability to undo. Before I just had the ability to view the message that I just sent, but now I can undo that send. So it pulls it back out of my inbox. Really nice feature. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you is how do you locate and utilize Gmail Help. From the top right-hand corner, if you click the traditional cog for the settings and everything, and you click on Help, it's going to open up a new tab. And there is more information than you could possibly process in many days about Gmail in here. So you can search the Gmail Help, you can browse by particular topics and setting, and really dig into everything about Gmail so that you can take it to the next level. Okay, we have covered Gmail beyond the basics, and if you have any questions, please take advantage of the Gmail Help section. Again, my name is Eric Folks, Instructional Technology Coordinator for Lampasas ISD, and look forward to Google Docs and Drive, the basics, our next section.